everyone, and welcome back to the Unbothered Podcast, where we like to chat about America's fifth sport, MTV's The Challenge. And today we have a very special guest with us. You may know him from Road Rules. You may know him from all the seasons of The Challenge and AllStars, or as one half of the Challenge Mania, Mr. Derrick Kosinski. Welcome!
Oh my God.
Thank you for having me. I almost wore a chubby shirt because it was hot in here and they feel so good that like, it's just like an all-purpose shirt. Like I was like, should I go really loud and just be like, and just keep thrusting my colorfulness out there? And instead I was like, tone it down, bro. Like,
I actually have a question about that. Were you actually offended that Steve did not like your outfit?
You know what? Not really. I was kind of like, wow, I can't believe you would do that right now as I'm like about to go and nominate you probably.
Right.
Like this is the absolute, I laughed in my head. I was like, it wasn't so much, is my outfit funny to you? It was more of like, are you joking? Like, are you really going to come at me like that right now? I don't care what I'm wearing. I feel great. I feel good. I feel like the mask from fucking with Jim Carrey, just put it on.
There you go.
So yeah, I was kind of caught off guard and I was like, kind of like in disbelief that like he would go there in this moment. Like it was just such a bad time to do it, you know?
It was funny though.
It was funny. And Tech gave you props for your outfit, and that's really all that matters.
Well, with Tech, it's always like I go to Tech all the time. Like, yo, is this all right? Is this all right? And the louder it is, and the the more colors, the weirder. He's all about it. So whenever I needed like approval, I would go to Tech, and we would constantly like tell each other that we look good. Tech actually gave me the push to be my loud, chubby self this season.
Well, we
liked it. It was very like vacation-y.
Yes. And unfortunately, that's also what your stint on this season of The Challenge was like. Vacation-y, because it was short.
and it was fine. And it was fine because I went home and watched my son's whole first tackle football season.
Makes it worth it.
Well, you just wonder like why. You're like, why did a bunch of people that I thought I was really cool with ambush me like that? Why would they turn their back on me like that? Why would they do it to me? Could have easily just went after Tyler. Like, most of you guys probably just met Tyler. So it's like, what? I don't need to politic for this. Why would I politic for this? I just kicked it with this guy and this one and this one and that one. I've been talking to this one on podcast for the longest time. I know everything about how many kids, all that shit. Like, what am I going to politic for? Like, they're not, why would they do that? And so, but my point was, so I just wasn't worried. And if it was my time to go in, like I was fine with it. I was kind of excited because I didn't go into elimination in season 1 AllStars. And I kind of I kind of want to get my hands dirty. Sometimes I kind of want to feel like the thrill of victory. And if I'm going to go out, like, I think this was kind of a cool way to go out. It was kind of like, I stood my ground. And we had a little bit of a standoff. I'd say it was a standoff. I mean, it was in real life. In real life, there was a lot more words exchanged. You guys can listen to that on the podcast, Challenge Mania Podcast. With Casey. It's coming up with the one with Casey. Yeah, it's almost like a sequel to like whatever the hell I said. There's a lot more words exchanged. Like, I literally said, I'm fucking taking Steve's head off. And I knew that he was basically the fall guy. I knew that Nehemiah and Casey were kind of like, manning the ship for lack of better terms. And Steve was kind of like, I don't know how much they really gave a fuck about Steve either. You know what I mean? Like, so he was the fall guy, and they knew like I was gonna come at him. Like I was never gonna channel my anger or my towards Casey. Like I would never, like I couldn't do that. I couldn't bring that to myself. You know, despite, you know, how deep she cut, I was just like, I'm not coming after you, but I am going to channel my energy in taking this motherfucker's head off. And they didn't play any of that because it was probably like way too violent.
Well, you brought up Nehemiah. Like, is that do you guys really just not like each other?
Are you really frenemies?
Like,
that's what I feel.
I feel like frenemies is a good term. And I feel like frenemies is a safe way to do a future rivals themed Paramount Plus challenge, because it's like we haven't been playing the same game. We've both now crossed each other in ways where we have eliminated each other. You know, like we have both put each other in a position to lose our chances in winning our part in $500,000, you know, or whatever. Yeah, whatever it is. So it's like, you know, he's not going to back down. I'm not going to back down. So what happens when two people don't back down? They kind of bark at each other, and sometimes they might bite. So, you know, it's healthy, man. It's healthy. I'm pissed. Like I was not happy with, the moves made, and I was very excited to come back and fucking go after each and every one of them. Like I was, you know, so, you know, maybe in a future season, you know, it's just a to be continued. But
well, we want you back for sure.
Thank you.
Always. Every
Everybody
season.
does.
I don't care what anybody says. Any season with Derrick on it, I love it. Even if you're not even there the whole time, such as when they brought you in as a mercenary on Vendettas in that classic elimination against Joss. And I do want to talk about it briefly. What were you expecting when you were brought in as a mercenary? Did they tell you what kind of an elimination it was, or were you going in blind?
I was going in blind, but also telling myself that I'm about to give them the best elimination of all time. That's it. They had put me on the sidelines for 3 years, and I was just, I'm about to fucking give them, I'm about to take out the Johnny Bananas backpack, you know, like 100%. Right. I'm about to give them the best show they've ever had. And then that sidelined me for another 3 years or however long it's been.
Yeah.
So, you know, honestly, like that's what it was. Like I had no idea. I knew it was going to be a 1-day thing. We knew that much. Like you're coming in, you're leaving. You're not staying. They didn't tell us to pack like you know, all our bags and stuff like that. So we knew that it was going to be one of these heavy hitter type of things that we've seen in the past. You know, I had no clue it was going to be a figure 8 ring wrestle against a fucking Amadeus, you know, like, and I looked up Amadeus. He's not quite an Amadeus. He's more of like a Greek god.
It's actually really funny that you said Amadeus, because my cat Amadeus jumped up on the bed at the same time that you said that. Yeah. And he's a beast. He's 18 pounds of cat.
He's probably just as beautiful as fucking Joss was. And
he is.
Yeah. And I was like, damn, that I would love to kick the shit out of Pretty Boy like that. Like, and that was the next thought. It was like, damn, that's a good looking motherfucker. I would love to beat his ass. And I'm going to.
And you did.
That's so funny.
To be fair, we kind of beat the shit out of each other. But yeah, I mean, that's one, like,
and it's a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, Johnny Bananas backpack will probably always be number 1, but you're definitely number 2 with that one with Joss.
I just don't understand your logic behind 19 seconds and almost 2 hours of beating the living fuck out of each other. I cannot
Right.
comprehend.
We're gonna swap them then. You're number one.
We're going from a knockout. Let's just say, let's put in like UFC terms. Like, how about when Masvidal, do you guys know your UFC? You know Jorge Masvidal?
I do.
When he went in there and he fought the wrestler that Ben Askren, he goes in with the flying knee, knocks him out 2 seconds. That's the Johnny Bananas backpack. CT goes in there, knocks him out 2 seconds. It's over. The other one is a war, a straight up real life challenge war, if there could ever be one physically. So, but to each their own. I know that the shock value of
So it did take 2 hours.
About 2 hours, yeah.
That's insane. I think the
Yeah.
reason why the Johnny Bananas one everybody loves so much is because so many people hated Johnny Bananas.
Yes.
And there's nothing better than seeing CT brought from the dead
yes.
and destroying him. Like, my boyfriend doesn't really watch Challenge other than like on Wednesdays when I'm watching it. And I made him watch that moment and he was just like, holy shit. And he laughed the whole time. So I think that's what it is. Now, pure strength and endurance, you guys are definitely numero uno.
But so on that note, like, I was on Johnny Bananas' team. I needed Johnny Bananas to come back. And I did not hate Johnny Bananas. He was my teammate and I needed him to come back. So, that
did not work out.
It did not work out. It did not.
But you, as you kind of said, you were sidelined for a few years, much to many of our dismay. And you started a thing that, if you don't know about it, people, you should by now, called Challenge Mania with Scott Yeager. And we just kind of want to know, how did that come about? Did you know Scott beforehand? How did you guys come up with this concept?
Well, when they put Baby in the corner, Baby came back and made something out of nothing. You know what I mean? It's like they sidelined my voice, basically. And there's a difference. There's Challenge Mania Podcast, challengemaniapodcast.com. And then there's Challenge Mania Live, like the show you guys went to in Tampa. We also have a show in San Francisco coming up December 18th next week.
Yeah.
And then St. Louis is sold out in January. And then we're trying to find a date in February, early March to work, where we do meet and greets and have fun, stuff like that. Live stage show. But Challenge Mania basically came about because, like, I went on Dirty 30 and I got second place. I made it all the way to the end, and I took out Johnny Bananas. I got into a physical altercation with Nelson and basically got him eliminated, not because I wanted to, because it happened. And then, I made it to the final and, got second place. And, my story was basically untold, and because they decided to, focus on, the Coreys and, the Johnnies and the Redemption House and whoever else was in there. It was just like Derrick was going to be last at getting any sound bites, any camera time, but he still kind of, produced, I guess, quietly. So whatever the case may be, I felt like a lot of the story was left untold. And that's when I realized I had a podcast even 5, 6, 7 in 2009. It was called Ultimate Challenge Radio. And I didn't know how to monetize it. And eventually it was a hobby that just kind of fizzled away because I had to kind of become a real person, worked in the oil field, get a real job, kid, wife, fucking house, all that shit. But then when I came back, I was like, maybe we should start the podcast again because there's so many gaps that are left unsaid. There's so many stories that are left unsaid. I'm like, ESPN has, basketball has, or NBA has Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal, breaking down their sport that they grew up playing and they, are so well known about. The UFC has podcasts, WWF has podcasts, CrossFit has a podcast. Like, every sport has a podcast, and everybody has like this, this twosome that's like knows their shit, is gonna give you good content, give you these stories. And I kind of was like, let's be them, let's be the guys for this sport. I've been in there, I've laughed, I've cried, I've won, I've lost, I've, experienced tragedy and triumph. All these people that are going on the shows now in the future, like, I can relate, I can sure. So it's like, let's talk about it. And what did we miss? And so at that point, I kind of wanted it to feel more of like inside the NBA. Remember like Saturday morning cartoons with like, remember like WWF was on for like fucking 30 minutes. And then Ahmad Rashad would come on and do like inside. It's the inside stuff. It's the inside stuff. He'd interview like some basketball player for like 20 minutes and like go to practice with them and like talk about the game, do something, silly. It was meant to be like soft and like get the story out there and give us more like about this character that you didn't get to see. So I don't know, and for me, it's like, let's bridge these gaps and these people are so fascinating, beyond what you see on the show. So I think it's cool to find out where they've been, how they got here, what that moment was on the show for them, what that experience was on that one season that they did, or those 3 seasons that they did, or how they got to the final that one time, or how they went to elimination against this person and managed to get out of it or lose or what, it's like, so everyone's got
you bring the authenticity to it because you've been there, so you can relate to them and pull out of them like the cool stories and stuff.
Thank you. And it's good too, like that. I have halfway decent relationships. Somehow like I've managed to not be a complete dickhead throughout the process, and somehow I've managed to like not have that many enemies or frenemies or just straight up fucking piss people off so they don't want to come, talk to me ever again. Like there's some, but it's like few and far between. And I'm just happy and fortunate and blessed and grateful that like both are happening now. Like the podcast is doing well. People are coming on. People are excited to go to the live shows, and I get to fucking go and play every now and then.
Well, were you and Scott friends? Like, how did that come about?
We had a mutual friend that kind of put us together. And actually back when I was doing challenge or Ultimate Challenge Radio, and he was doing his like, he was interviewing like celebrities that like I wanted to interview. I was like, oh shit, you interviewing UFC fighters and WWE wrestlers and fucking musicians. I'm like, that's fucking badass. I want to do that. So at one point he came on and helped co-host like with Blair Herter. Remember Blair?
Yes.
So we had like a New Year's Eve or like a New Year's podcast. Blair was scheduled and I brought Scott on and we interviewed Blair together. And then at some point he brought me on to help interview Jake Shields, who was a big UFC fighter back at that time. And I was geeked, and I think he was too. And then 5, 6, 7 years later, I get back on Dirty 30. I feel like my voice is kind of, my story's not there. It's not there. It's everyone else's story, but Derrick's story basically. So I was like, when in Invasion of the Champions, when they did that season, I asked Scott like if he wanted to maybe start one, and we like kind of waited and didn't happen. Then I got on Dirty 30, which was the next season, and we once the season was over, I was like, and it was all done. I think it was wrapped. Then we started interviewing. I think Hunter and Tony were like, "You're gonna start the podcast back up? We want to be the first guests." And at that time, I had seen them and eliminated them from Dirty 30. Oh, there's a controversial subject right there. So the purge, they called that elimination a purge. Okay. I want you to keep your eyes peeled on tonight's purge. Okay. And you tell me if this is an elimination or if it's a purge, or because you're not going to take these eliminations away from these two people, these two wins from these two people, because TJ called it a purge, but they're in the lair eliminating people. It's just ridiculous. It's just stupid.
Yeah, purge comes after dailies.
What's that?
Purges come after a daily. Typically.
Look, whatever it is, I'm saying TJ called it a purge. There are two eliminations, and I don't think that the challenge universe or Wikipedia is going to be able to say that when one person eliminates another person, or in the Dirty 30s case, when Derrick eliminated Hunter and Tony, and the next competition was the final, that he doesn't get an elimination win for that. That's an elimination. One person, three people went in, one person won, two other people went home.
Exactly.
That's an elimination. So whatever my stats are, I want one more, because that's bullshit. And for a long time, Wikipedia doesn't count the Joss elimination.
Mm.
That's
they
stupid.
should.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this season? The spies, lies, and allies.
What's that?
How do you feel about this season? The spies, lies, and allies.
Look, I think it's interesting. You get 19 new characters. Yes, you have to kind of, you have to give them time. You have to sort of be open to getting to know them.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is a lot of the fandom doesn't want to. They're just like, and so now they're seeing two rookies go in against each other for 2 months, and they're not seeing anything. And because all this, once the rookies are in, you have to give them their storyline. You have to give them their sound bites. So what it does is it takes away from all your favorites, your OGs, which there aren't really that many in there anyway. So you're already like, the fandom, the challenge fandom is like, I'm not a fan of Big Brother. I'm not a fan of Survivor. I'm not a fan of all this other, you took my favorites away. Like, yeah, you left me 1, 2, or 3, but like, come on. That's what I sense from the fandom.
Yeah.
For me, I watch it from an analysis standpoint. I'm going to interview, rookie 1 through 19, if we could get them all. And I want to hear your story, because at some point I was the person that they didn't like, or had a hard time making their way through the challenge universe, or I was the rookie at some point. I only had one elimination at some point, or something like that. So I understand you, and I'm going to help you sort of stay in the mix a little bit, give you a little bit of respect. Somehow you made it here. I don't know how, but I'm open to finding out how.
I mean, that's a cool perspective though, that you have. So
no, it absolutely is. And with doing Challenge Mania, the podcast, for as long as you guys have at this point, are there any interviews that you guys have done that really stand out to you as some of your favorites?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of them are really good, but it's all based on like how much they give us. Like if they're willing to come on and just fucking boom, give it to you, give you them. Like it's the ones that kind of like hold back, and similar in like reality TV. Like if you hold back or you hide, or you don't really want to like, give us the information, and when it does, like, there's nothing it's easy. We're just talking, you know. Those are the ones that like I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you holding back? You know, you know, the ones that like, let's see, like the one that Casey just did with me, you know, because the drama is, why did Casey go so hard at Derrick? Why did Casey burn those 2 life shields? Why would she do that? And I give you all of these points on why the fuck did you do that? And you guys will find out why she did it.
Yes, we will.
But I had to sort of like, I didn't understand. I felt like I had built up more of a friendship with this girl over the past, just her coming back to the fold. Like, you know, her coming back into the mix was kind of like by way of Challenge Mania. You know, it was like, she didn't even watch the challenge. She came on our 200th episode, which was also very good. And she's back in the mix, you know, and like, I know the challenge gods I know the challenge gods weren't trying to give, you know, Challenge Mania all that love, but you know, every week they're seeing a new OG pop up before the OG movement started, you know, and then you had Mark sort of, I mean, it just kind of kept them out there. I feel like it kind of kept us in the mix a little bit. And then you got the fandom, like, give me Casey,
absolutely,
give me Derrick, give me Mark. I can't, how many times? Give me Derrick, give me Mark, give me Landon, give me Brad. Where the fuck is, you know, just whatever OGs, you know, you guys wanted to see. Abe, Kahada, like, where are these people? Where's Rachel? Where's Rachel? Where's Paula? It was just like, and the best we could do is put them on a podcast, throw them on Derrick's Instagram, and maybe, you know, maybe Mark can fucking make this shit happen.
Yeah, because a lot of them like didn't even have like social media followings until they got on Challenge Mania and plugged themselves in. So I think that Challenge Mania definitely helped get their names out there with the newer fans anyways.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't realize, but like, you know, it's always helpful, like, to get, you know, a little bit of, you know, like, I have a little bit of a following, you know, like, had I kept my social media, while I was, you know, going through you know, a rough patch with, you know, at home, and you know, trying to fix things, you know, with my previous relationship, I got rid of all that shit. I got rid of everything. I was everything to make shit work, you know, and it didn't work. I would probably be up there with, you know, the Johnnies, you know, of the world, and, you know, maybe the CTs had I kept that thing rolling, but, you know, it's good to, like, you know, someone has a bigger following, they're gonna kind of help, you know, kind of get you up, you know, it's like, let me lift you up. Come here. Let me get up, get back up here, back up here. What are you doing back there? You know, I remember what you did on the show way back when you fucking punched the mirror, you know, Jasmine. It's like all these like cool stories. It's like, get back up there. Bring that personality back into the world, because everybody misses it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I completely agree. And then, of course, you guys do the Challenge Mania Lives, which for fans, it gives us the opportunity to meet people from a show that we love that we may never get the opportunity to do otherwise. It makes them accessible. It like helps to humanize. It brings you guys even more exposure. It brings them exposure. It's fantastic what you guys have been doing. So major props.
We had so much fun in Tampa. We were just sad you weren't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It went
No worries.
down. Again, hopefully we can meet in person. But like I was saying before, like, I could feel your energy. I enjoy the squad you guys have, and your approach, like, to me, you know, through Joe too, like, just had some really nice things to say, like, from the beginning. So I felt comfortable. You guys went to the show, came out swinging with, you know, a group, and, you know, that means a lot to us. And, you know, as the Challenge Mania Lives, like, it's a pretty controlled environment. The meet and greet's controlled. Then we kind of get a little, We get a little goofy on stage. And then afterwards, like, we kind of kick it for a little bit, and some kick it a little bit longer than others, but everyone's happy, right? Like, am I wrong? You guys left happy? You guys had a good
that was great.
Oh, we left many memories, lots of memories.
yeah.
I do have a question, and if you aren't comfortable with answering, it's okay. It's probably the most controversial thing we could think to ask. So earlier when you were talking about, some people really haven't come on or won't come on, what's the deal with Amanda's hate towards you guys?
So I think it started with a Subway, a Subway video that surfaced. And for some reason, Scott thought that if he had spoke out about this incident at Subway, where I don't know what happened. There was something about Subway guy, someone wasn't happy with the Subway guy making the sandwich, and
yeah, I vaguely remember hearing about the Subway.
And Scott was kind of like, how can you possibly treat a person like that? I don't know. Like, I didn't want to partake in this. I knew where this was going. You know what I mean? I'm like, I do not want a war with Amanda, And so I think that this was how he thought at the time. She'll come on the Challenge Mania and talk about it and talk about her experience, and we can kind of like mend fences there and stuff like that. But no, that's not how it works. And it's not how it works with Amanda. So I think eventually, Scott quit talking about it. And I think by proxy, she just probably kind of, pencils me in the same boat with him. And now it hates Challenge Mania and hates Derrick. And apparently Derrick's a fucking weasel.
Yeah, I was going to say, she called you a weasel.
Yeah. I think it's funny.
Weird,
I think
though.
What's that?
It's so weird, though, that she would hold that against you guys.
I mean, come on. No, it's Amanda.
It is Amanda. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's funny. I mean, it's not.
She can be entertaining. I'll give her that.
I just don't know. I'm just like, do I respond or do I not respond? And hopefully people will take my joke if I do respond. So, because come on, man. I mean, it's just like, it's comical. You know what I mean? Like her like whole like fucking thing. It's funny, So, but I mean, I'm not gonna say too much,
It's
I don't get.
I appreciate you saying anything.
Yeah, thanks for answering. I think everybody know what the deal was. I mean,
I only got answers off of Reddit, so I figured I'd ask one of the sources. I just have a couple more questions, and then I don't know if Tia does, and then Frankie is just going to ask you some rando questions that are fun, quick little answer for us to get to know you a little bit better. What would you think of a future season of a new school versus old school?
I think it would be fun. I think it would be entertaining. It's like, but where do you put where do you put CT and who else is left in the final? Nelson, I guess. Like, where do you put those guys? Like, are they still considered?
I would consider them newer school. So like, I would think
CT's
like,
Are
you the one and up is considered new school?
What about CT?
He's old school.
Okay. Yeah, he's old school for sure.
I just wonder if they go like straight AllStars versus, current Challenge.
That would be cool. Like an invasion almost, like a version of invasion, but they don't have to be champs.
I think it's coming. I think that'd
be cool.
Like a Super Bowl 40 challenge Super Bowl.
Yes. They have to do something big for 40.
I mean, we've all talked about this before, but like AllStars just has this vibe about it that fans just love it. I think they're kind of over the challenge, like regular season a little bit. So
It's just a lot of extras are happening. that don't need to
Yeah.
happen.
We're
It's like
very
it just
thankful for
feels-
AllStars.
We are. We're thankful. It's nostalgic in a good way. It feels more
Mhm.
authentic. Like it's like this is what we've been missing.
We can hear you cuss.
Yeah.
Yes,
It
even
makes
better.
a difference.
Tina
Yeah.
is so funny without being censored. Oh my god, I love it. This question is actually from Joe. Joe said, "What advice would you give Little D if he ever did the challenge in the future?"
Don't piss off Amanda. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I would say, build bridges, don't burn them. I feel like that's kind of how I've managed to do it. Hopefully, like he's just doing that in normal life, be prepared for everything. So we're going to work on puzzles. We're going to work on endurance. We're going to work on, jujitsu skills. We're going to work on, climbing up a
Canoeing
mountain.
and kayaking.
We're going to get in a fucking kayak
Yeah.
and you're going to learn how to row
Yeah.
this boat.
The right way.
Yeah. We're going to get you in some swimming classes. You're going to do it all. We're going to teach you how to ride a bike. I still haven't gotten that far. Right. Like, I don't like go mountain biking. You know what I mean? I don't
Mhm.
like go canoeing. I don't go kayaking. But since my little blunder on AllStars 1, like I've gone, I've tried to, I've troubleshoot. I've made mistakes, while doing it, had to figure it out. I took a mountain bike out not too long ago just to like feel it, and probably like 3 or 4 seconds in, like going up the hill, like my chain fell off.
Oh,
So
God.
so luckily I was close enough to the gym that I could just like, bring it back, flip it upside down. I still couldn't fix the chain. My hands are just like completely, black and greasy. And I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like, I'm trying to start this workout, but I need to fix my buddy's bike. Like I literally broke his chain. I'm on top of that. Like I need to work on riding a bike. So like I ended up texting my buddy and being like, yo, I broke your chain. And I sent him the picture and he was like, no, you can fix that. I'm just like, okay, fuck it. I flipped it back up forward. And I just fucking I kicked the pedal and I just kicked it just like 1, 2, 3. And that motherfucker went all the way through. The chain went through and I got to put it on. But like, I needed a little bit of, I needed to make those mistakes to know, like, if I have a problem on top of a mountain while I'm in a challenge and my chain falls off, like, I'm not going to walk it. Like, I got to put the chain back on. But had
right.
that not happened, maybe I wouldn't have been able to figure it out.
That is very true. And as we saw in All-Stars 1 finale, you had to put together a bike. So it's good you've learned now. Now you know, just in case.
Yeah.
That's what matters. Tia, do you have any questions before we get to the fun ones?
Not really. Just does Little D, does he watch with you? Like, does he like the challenge and AllStars and all that?
Yeah. He watches. Sometimes he'll watch on his own.
Like, does he think you're cool because you've been on TV and stuff? Are you the embarrassing dad?
I'll be honest with you. What would be cool to do is interview like one of my brothers. But like, because I've never gotten a gauge on like what they ever thought about this. Cause I started doing this when I was 19. It would make them 12 years old.
Yeah.
My son's age, 12.
Right.
So like I started doing the shows and, they're 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm still, doing the shows and I don't know what they think. Like, I don't know if they cared. I don't know if they thought I was cool. I don't know. I have no clue. Like, I've never had a conversation with my brothers or my son. Like, what do you think about this? you know?
Right.
And I feel like they both kind of have a similar like demeanor, like, I don't know, man, it's just what you do, you know? I
I'm
think,
telling everybody.
yeah, no, I just think that they sort of like accept that it's just like when your dad goes to work, you're like, what does he fucking do?
Right.
What age were you when you knew what your dad did at work?
Right.
Like, besides dad's just going to work. Like, at what point were you like, oh, my dad's a police officer? Like, some people, like some parents, they don't have like these, like my mom's a cleaning lady. Like, I didn't know what my mom did until I don't even know what age I was until I was like, oh, my mom's a cleaning lady. My dad's a used car salesman. Like, you know, when dad went to
Right.
work, and when I was 9, dad went to work, right? Like, I don't know what the fuck he does.
I guess I'm a rarity. I knew what my parents were doing when I was like 6.
Oh, well, maybe they have a nice, like, concrete job. Mine was kind of like, it's probably
Well,
why
my dad was in the military. My mom was a waitress because we moved here from Europe. It's the whole thing. But
yeah,
I
but
like
what
used
dad
to
do?
go.
my dad was
Is
in the Air Force, and then he got an IT job with a private company after he left the military. And I knew that when I was little. I would go
Hmm.
see him at work.
I'm
Take your
probably
kid to work day. I still don't know what my mom did, and I went with her to work. Like,
yeah. Yeah, she's at a desk. I don't know.
That's funny.
I don't like. I don't know what she's writing down. She works in an
Yeah.
office. Like,
Right.
stop
She
asking these
stamps
questions.
envelopes.
I'm
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
10.
I love that. Absolutely. Okay, so Tia, if you are done, Frankie, you want to
Yeah,
get in our
Frankie
fun?
can go with his questions.
yeah, so these are just like random questions. Not really. Well, one's kind of challenge related, but the rest aren't. Just real fast. So we all know you were stranded on an island before, but for some reason it happens again. What 3 cast members are you bringing with you, and what 3 things are you bringing with you?
Well, we're probably bringing CT because he can do everything, and we're probably not going to die. We'd probably have to bring Yes, because he won't let us die either.
Mm.
Who's left? As much as I want to pull Derrick or Darrell or Mark into this boat somehow, I feel like we need to pull a female in here somehow. Fuck. And Evelyn probably won't let us die.
Yeah. Good choices.
You know, I might let us die. Like, we might accidentally die. Like, we may accidentally run into a an island full of like people we didn't even know existed, and we might get taken in and have a horror
True
movie.
point.
Yeah.
True point.
If you were the ruler of your own country, what would be the first law you would introduce?
If I was the ruler of my what's the first rule I would introduce?
Yeah, like the first law or rule. Yeah.
That's a hard question, Frankie.
I would say something along the like the be kind to people rule. Like,
Don't be an asshole.
yeah, be kind or rewind. Like, we're gonna rewind you, and how you would police that, like, I have no idea. It's like, you're being rude, time out. Like in school, kid's an asshole, time out. That grown man just was an asshole to that person. I heard it. Like, zap them. Like, maybe you're allowed to like fucking, if someone's not being kind, you like, everyone has a taser. And like when someone's
Like a cattle prod.
like, if you notice that someone's like not be like someone was just being rude, they just walk up and it's like, meh,
Yeah.
I kind of
Everyone-
love that. We should do that now.
What?
We should do that now.
Rule 1, everybody gets a taser. All right, not a gun, a fucking taser. And if you see someone being rude, you could just, sorry, bro, I saw it.
Perfect.
All right, I have one more question because I know we're running short on time. But So I'm sure your inbox gets like flooded with messages. Is there any messages that you recall as like the strangest message you've ever received from anyone?
I think someone's been asking me for pictures of my feet not too long
You could
ago.
sell them.
Huh?
You could sell them.
I mean, I don't know how to respond. I'm like, is there like a lot of money involved in this? Like, how much are we talking here? Like, I'm just not gonna send.
Apparently.
I feel like that's a big thing.
Yeah, I haven't dabbled into that. I mean, but it is kind of like really like it's just like I don't know what to do with this. Like,
Are you flattered?
I mean,
I don't know what to do with this.
I mean,
Are you flattered by it? No.
I mean, I'm just thinking like it's so easy to take a picture of my foot. Like I could do it right now. Like this has
Right.
got to be the easiest request ever. But yet I'm like,
send them a picture of your QR code to your Venmo and then see how much money they send you.
oh,
And then if
okay.
it's worth it.
There you go. Frankie with the ideas.
And
I
maybe
feel like Frankie's done this before.
maybe we figured it out. I
Maybe.
mean,
He may have figured it out. One quick request before we let you go. So one of the people on our admin team, a friend of his, is a huge fan and he asked for a shout out.
Okay.
His name is Jake Mann.
Jake Man. Yeah.
Jake, it is a pleasure for me to pop in, say what's up. Thank you for all that you do. You are the man.
Thank
Woo!
you.
Jake,
Awesome.
you are the man, Jake.
Yes.
Man.
Yes. No, that's perfect. Duh. His
That was
last name is
great.
Mann. That is great. Thank you so much. So real quick for everybody, if you're watching and you don't follow us already on YouTube, we are the Unbothered Podcast. Facebook, The Challenge Unbothered, and Entertainment Unbothered, where we talk about everything else in media land. On Instagram, we are The Challenge Unbothered, and on Twitter at UnbotheredPod1. Derrick, what are your social media handles?
At Derrick MTV, even though now I'm strictly on Paramount Plus, although they did put a snippet of Derrick back on MTV last week after the challenge. And I'm hearing that there's going to be an AllStars episode tonight. So I'm curious if it's going to be last week's episode, which was a big fucking ambush Derrick episode, or they're going to do episode 4, or episode 5, or are they just going to put all of AllStars on?
Are they going to start it over? Yeah.
From the beginning. They should do that, but we are going to find out tonight at 9:30.
We'll find out.
Ready?
9:30.
Go follow Derrick. And thank you again so much for doing this. This was an honor. Obviously, once we have everything together, we will tag you in all the posts. So hopefully you will share. Thank you so much. And hopefully, here's to hoping 2022, we will be meeting you at Challenge Mania live.
Yeah, and
Yes,
if anyone is still interested in coming to Challenge Mania Live San Francisco, it's on December 18th. Tickets are still available. Meet and greet sold out, but as you know, like you'll probably get a fist bump somewhere along the line in the night, or something along those lines. And yeah, that's it. Go to San Francisco. Last minute holiday gift.
That'd be a great gift.
Challenge Mania
that'd be a
Live.
great gift.
Challenge Mania
Challenge
Live.
Mania.
And
Yay.
challengemaniapodcast.com for the Casey interview on Monday.
Yes,
Unless
we
you're
will
a patron.
definitely do
Awesome.
that.
Wait.
Yeah.
Thanks, Derrick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
This is
guys.
amazing.
Nice to meet you.
You too. See
Have a
ya.
good one.
Bye.